A perfect meal plan to lose weight forever. Calories matter, but they're not actually what keep you full. When that's all we focus on, we miss what makes eating less feel natural. Each meal is built on the struggles that they come with. Fire drill mornings, sad desk lunches, God, I don't want to cook dinners. All building towards the hardest part, evening cravings. Plus, a psychological strategy that helps reduce cravings forever. It's a meal plan I built, and it's free for download. So, what makes a perfect meal plan? First, it keeps you full on fewer calories. But calories aren't what keep you full, at least not the way you think they do. The Wheel of Fullness explains it perfectly. When it's full, you feel full. Most people only fill it with calories and then cut them, creating a void. You lose weight, but the void grows and becomes too much to handle, and then you yo-yo right back. But we can and should fill that void with something else. And based on hundreds of hunger studies I've read, 3 tools are essential. And the first one might be the most important concept in all of hunger, but it rarely gets the spotlight. Your stomach senses weight, pounds. If it didn't, you'd eat until it tore. We need to use that. Do you know how much food you eat in a day? Not calories, but pounds. Literal pounds. Because you likely eat a very specific number without even noticing. Somewhere between 3 to 5 pounds. It's a natural stop signal, so every meal needs to hit that stop signal. Next, protein. Protein makes the machinery your cells use. It's made of 20 amino acids, and 9 you can't make yourself. So your body constantly scans for protein in your food. Every protein-free meal is a missed chance to trigger fullness. And finally, fiber. Fiber adds weight and feeds gut bacteria. You have an entire ecosystem in your gut that helps you regulate appetite, metabolism, and even your mood. Fiber is the best researched food that fosters the good bacteria that release hormones and metabolites that reduce appetite, cravings, and improve your mood. Whereas weight and protein help in the short term, fiber helps in the long term. The beauty, improving one of these things often improves the others. You'll see how in each meal. I'm so nerdy I turned it into a formula I make sure all my meals hit, but you won't need math. I'll show you the swaps I use to hit it naturally. And so the more you learn and apply to your own diet, the more naturally filling your meals are going to become. Next, a perfect meal plan is sustainable, easy to prep, affordable, and doesn't create dishes. A meal plan can be super filling, but if it doesn't fit your schedule or causes money stress, you won't stick to it. Plus, every mealtime has real life constraints. Breakfast has to be on the go, lunch you only get a microwave, and dinner you have to cook when you're tired as shit. Most importantly, we'll track the daily prep time as we go of each meal so you can see how fast and simple this really is. So here we go. First up is breakfast, and we are hitting the Fullness Formula, but 2 psychological tricks matter as well. Mornings are chaotic, so every meal has to have a grab-and-go version. And second, we hate, as humans, feeling restricted. That's why this meal keeps the flavors you crave. Classic breakfast, fried eggs and bacon, maybe some toast. But cracking eggs, flipping bacon, and scrubbing pans, it's easy to cook when you're motivated, but diets don't fail then. Diets fail when life punches you in the face, so we make this meal sort of disruption-proof by taking the same eggs and bacon plate and turning it into portable egg muffins. Prepped in bulk, stored in the freezer, so you're ready for the punch in the face. If you're worried reheated eggs will be soggy, well they are, unless you know the trick. Each meal I'll show you how to reheat without losing quality. Now, let's make this meal actually filling. A basic eggs and bacon plate lacks weight, fiber, and even protein. So here's our first fullness fix. Swap and combine high-fat proteins with lean ones. In this case, whole eggs and egg whites. A solid ratio, 1 egg per 1/4 cup of egg whites. More protein, fewer calories, and way more volume. I'm also not cutting out bacon. I just use a little bit, and you'll be shocked at how far it goes. That's where a taste fix comes in. Blend a small amount of the fatty proteins with the lean ones to boost their flavor as well. 1 teaspoon of bacon bits inside each muffin gives the same flavor for more bites and fewer calories. Same goes for sausage. From here, we boost weight and volume with 2 fullness fixes. First, add 1 tablespoon of diced veggies per muffin. Second, add 1/2 to 1 cup of fruit on the side. That single habit, adding fruit or veg to every meal, will build up a full pound of food to your day with almost no effort. It is one of the most reliable changes I've ever made to my own diet. Even with cheese, the macros hold strong because it's all about ratios, not restriction. This weekly prep, I made 100 muffins in about 2 hours, and most of it was waiting. When it's time to eat, microwave 3 muffins for 4 minutes, then air fry for 4 to crisp. Invest in an air fryer. The difference is massive. Now, lunch. Lunch is a big deal. It follows the longest gap without food. Hunger builds, cravings rise, and most of us aren't home or have time to cook, so it has to be microwave friendly, keep you full till dinner, and be novel enough to compete with takeout. You might roll your eyes at this next idea, but only if you're picturing it the wrong way. Let me show you how I see it. This week's perfect lunch is a big ass salad. No, not this sad pile of lettuce, this. But that's not a salad. Oh, it is, because once you toss it together, it becomes the kind of salad I actually want you to build and picture. A full meal. If it just looks like a side salad before you mix it, that's probably all it's going to feel like after. A meal needs to look like a meal. So, how do we make the salad full enough to hold us till dinner? Here's a simple fullness fix. 1/3 lean protein and 2/3 vegetable blend, and a flavor-loaded glaze or dressing. And if you want to add carbs like rice or potatoes, just use the 1-to-1-to-1 method. 1/3 lean protein, 1/3 non-starchy vegetables, 1/3 starchy carbs. That covers your weight, protein, and fiber. Fullness formula to a T. And the peanut glaze, don't skip it. We, humans, psychologically stick to diets that are novel. You can make an entirely new meal using this method by just swapping the glaze, the protein, and a carb. This salad clocks in at nearly 1.5 pounds and 50 grams of protein on purpose. That's another fullness fix. When your next meal is far away, make this one extra heavy with weight and protein. The bigger the gap between the meals, the harder you should press on the fullness formula. Bonus benefit, fat from the dressing doesn't just boost flavor, it helps you absorb nutrients from all those vegetables. And the prep is laughably easy. Chop and store your veggies in individual containers. Mix the sauce and store separately as well. Then choose price or ease. Bulk cook chicken, or cheat like I do and buy pre-grilled chicken. Total cook time 4 minutes to microwave the chicken, 30 seconds to toss everything together, and 2 minutes to wash the bowl. So far today, you've likely cut your calories in half from a standard American diet. Yet, those same calories are more filling because their weight, protein, and fiber are much better. And we're not done yet. The toughest part of the day is coming up, dinner and late night snacking. Hey, if you've enjoyed this so far, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing so I can keep sharing meal plans. You know the moment that work's over. Your brain is mush and the last thing you want to do is chop, cook, and clean. But don't. You can just make this instead. The upside of dinner is you've got an oven. Not for more complicated cooking, but more variety without the effort. Let's fix the most boring weight loss dinner known to man. Chicken, brown rice, and vegetables. Reheated meat? The accompanied pile of pans? This version has neither. I call it the almost there prep. The objective? Get as close to oven ready as possible in a single dish. Let me show you how it's built, and then the super simple prep. For this meal, rice is the longest thing we have to cook, so we're going to start there. 2 quick taste fixes. First, rinse your rice till the water runs clear. Takes 3 minutes and makes it more fluffy. Second, cook the rice in broth instead of water. Match the broth to your protein. Chicken broth for chicken, beef for beef. It's so good. Cover and bake for 10 minutes. I use basmati rice here, not brown, and you'll see why that's totally fine later. But now for the veggies and meat. You almost prepped earlier in the week. You chop veggies, dice chicken, and toss them into containers. So now it just takes 60 seconds to grab, combine, season, and add a teaspoon of olive oil per cup of vegetables. This keeps your vegetables really flavorful without messing up your calorie to weight ratio. Then, you've got 9 minutes while the rice finishes. Do a chore, take a scroll break. When the timer's up, pull out your rice and layer in your chicken and veggies. This also follows the 1-to-1 method. Equal parts lean protein, starchy carb, and non-starchy veg. That step took 60 seconds, tops. Cover it back up, bake for 20 minutes. Rinse your bowl, and boom, you've got 18 minutes to relax. Because back on prep day, you made the sauce, and just like the glaze from lunch, it keeps dinner feeling fresh and exciting. Sauces can make or break your macros, so I make my own using a very simple formula. 1/4 cup of light mayo and a 1/2 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt, plus 1 to 2 bold flavors. For this meal, lemon pesto. Just adding 2 tablespoons of pesto and a squeeze of lemon juice. Each plan uses a different variation of this same base. After 20 minutes, pull it out and stir in the sauce. I use 4 tablespoons and it still beats store-bought calories by a lot. So much so, we can even top with a little cheese. Cooking for a group? Just scale up the ratios. 4 ounce lean protein, 4 ounce starchy carb, 4 ounce non-starchy veggie per person. The bonus when you use this method is something like white rice isn't a problem. The ratio naturally loads up enough non-starchy vegetables to carry the weight and the fiber, literally and nutritionally. How does this meal style stay novel so we don't get bored of it? Simple swaps. Chicken for beef, rice for potatoes, and lemon pesto for chipotle. An entire new meal that follows the exact same steps. Let's do the prep math. If you add up the steps, it takes less than 10 minutes of hands-on cooking. But now, the final boss. The evening snackies. Why the heck are evenings so difficult? It's not just because of hunger, but cravings. And the more we understand them, the easier they are to handle. I've got strategies. 3 big drivers that give us cravings are emotional states, food triggers, and hunger. The emotional side deserves its own video. But even with that in play, you can still take back control of your cravings in 3 ways. 2 short-term and 1 important long-term. First, reduce food triggers. A food trigger is a food reminder. Seeing it on the counter or in a cupboard. It gives your brain a little mental push to eat it. A push you have to say no to. Telling yourself no a few times? Fine. But doing it 30 times in a single evening? Most of us crack, me included. So, take immediate obvious food triggers and move them to places that reduce the frequency you encounter them. Second, reduce general hunger. Hunger makes cravings stronger. Think hangry. So fuller daytime meals, which is what we're working on, means less temptation later. Together, with fewer food triggers and less hunger, means fewer cravings, and weaker ones when you do experience them. Because no, this won't make your cravings vanish. I mean, have you seen our food environment? That's why a smart meal plan includes foods that actually satisfy cravings. Low in calories, high in weight and protein, and still delicious. This Biscoff cheesecake is 148 calories, 24 grams of protein, and over 200 grams of food. That's the calorie density of a banana and the protein content approaching a chicken breast. And it's as easy as mixing some ingredients in a blender, throwing it in the oven, and microwaving a topping. Check the PDF to see for yourself, and you will learn 3 ways I make craving-proof desserts actually taste good. First, don't feel artificial sweeteners. People say, just eat fruit, but that's not the swap we're talking about. We're not replacing fruit. We're replacing regular sugar from cheesecake. And in that swap, the data is so clear. People lose weight. People get healthier. Second tip, if the texture is grainy, swap half the protein powder for Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Third tip, if it's too tangy or spongy, incrementally add 1 teaspoon of heavy whipping cream. That fat smooths the texture and balances the acidity. A little bit goes a long way. I have fat in both of these desserts, yet they're still craving proof. They still are low calorie and they're still very filling. So here's the strategy so far. Reduce your food triggers where you can. Use your daytime meals to reduce your overall hunger and have craving-proof desserts ready to go. This alone has dropped my evening food stress by a ton. But there's one more trick. Well, it's bigger than a trick because it's fundamental to long-term control. A rooted mindset shift. Have you ever had it where you've eaten something, then you get sick, and then you're repulsed by it, even though you did like it? That's your brain linking food to how you felt. And we can use that same wiring, but in a good way. Most cravings come from chasing that insane hit, the first bite, that dopamine. But we can retrain our brains to kind of zoom out and notice the big picture. How did you feel after that food? Did it fuel your energy or crash it? Did you feel proud or guilty? The more you reflect on that full timeline, the more your brain starts linking feel-good outcomes to meals that actually support you. Cravings for healthier foods actually get stronger. Cravings for foods that leave you sluggish, bloated, or regretful, they actually start to fade. Taking a serious moment every day for just 1 meal over weeks, you will actually feel your cravings start to shift and feel real relief. This video can get you started. Good meals to use for this strategy? This meal plan. The PDF shows you how you can prep this entire thing in 90 minutes on a single day. After that, an entire day just takes 10 minutes of hands-on cooking to make, and it hits this fullness formula like a champ. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.